I'm Ricard Ryan and welcome to SuRRvival Gear. In this week's episode, the Bio Lite Camp Stove.
Clean energy is all around us. All we need are the right tools to make use of it. Bio Lite stoves deliver clean cooking and electricity access using nothing but wood for fuel. By creating electricity from the heat of the fire, the camp stove can charge your phones, lights, or other gadgets.
So for this review, I'm going to break this down into 4 different categories: the design, the weight, efficiency, and cost. At first glance, and the advertising campaigns and everything, it's really eye-catching. I mean, the colors, the design of it and everything, it's just really, really cool looking. It's simple, yet appealing. Whenever you first open this, you get the impressions that they put a little bit of time into this. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how this thing operates. You have a locking mechanism. You just stick the metal tube inside of it here, push that down, bring the leg out, and it locks it into place so it doesn't move around. Breakdown, again, very simple. Collapse the leg here, pop this guy out, and then it goes down inside of it like that. So let's move on to the next criteria: weight. Now this is a big one. This is probably one of the more important determining factors whenever you're going to decide whether or not you're going to purchase this. It's significantly heavy compared to a lot of the other options out there if you have an alcohol stove or something else, or if you're just a really super light hiker. And something like this might not be of as use as something, say, food or medical supplies. If it's just you and one other person, the weight might not be a factor. I mean, it's small enough where you can just stow it in your truck somewhere. So let's move on to the efficiency of the unit. So at first glance, whenever you see all the ads, literature or whatnot on websites, you see the USB port with like an iPhone plugged into it. And that's what I did for this, just for the sake of doing it. But make no mistake about it, when it comes to charging a device, this is not the device for you to do that. By the time the green light cuts on and it starts charging a device, you get very, very little power out of it. I mean, it moved the iPhone bar maybe 5%. But having said that, it does generate a really, really big flame. I put maybe 20 seconds worth of finding sticks on the ground that were dead from trees and everything, and filled this thing up and started a fire. And within just a couple of minutes, this thing was like an inferno. It takes almost no time to really start boiling some water. And you have 2 options on speed settings for the fan. You have low and high. And you know, the more air going through it, the more intense the flame's gonna be. I thought it might be some gimmicky low flow fan that might not generate that much of a flame, but it really does its job well in this application. I mean, it produces a really hot, really intense flame, and it incinerates the fuel really, really fast. All right, so next up is the price. Now this is a really determining factor for a lot of people. So I paid $130 for this from the manufacturer's website, and I have a feeling that if a lot of stores stock these, they would get a lot of them returned. People would buy them, they'd plug it in, and they'd be completely underwhelmed by the amount of power that they get from charging it. But if you're looking for a wood-burning camp stove, this might be of value to you. I mean, because it really generates a nice flame. It's really intense, and it does its job really well in that sense. But the cost still, it's kind of up there at $130. A lot of people can't even justify that for a lot of other different applications in their trips. All right, here's my 2 cents on this. Now, if you're a really, really light backpacker, you're not going to want this. Again, it boils down to weight. Weight is almost always the determining factor for survival situations. But having said that, if you do have like a location where you can keep this, like, you know, a cabin out in the middle of nowhere, this actually would be something really cool to have on hand. Because one, you're not having to worry about storing batteries, you're not having to worry about storing any type of fuels. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, you already have your fuel. It's organic, it's all around you. Hopefully the review and the product testing is thorough enough where it can help you figure out your own criteria for your own situations. And if you can justify purchasing one of these, then hopefully it helped you out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, make sure you pull that trigger on the subscribe button. If you want to see me review something, make sure you leave your suggestions in the comments below. And don't forget, new episodes of SuRRvival Gear every single week right here on Tech Feed. We'll see y'all next time. Bottled water's up first. Now for the LA water. For the mountain water.